All right, look, I've got the books. I've got the books. Got some good books here. Jeffrey Gitomer, David Hawking, Will Garda, Chip Heath, Dan Heath. So we'll be talking about books, reading, business, entrepreneurship. Waiting for Valed to join us, Mr. at Fade and Fool. There he is. Hop in, dude. Valed, what's up? You are very quiet. I think you're kind of muted. Yeah, it sounds like it doesn't want to come through.
Yo.
Okay, I can hear you much better.
All right, we in here. I see some of my people's in here. Marcus in here. Mike is low.
Now it's
Barry's in
high.
here.
Now it's high. Now it's good.
All right.
Now it's good. Oh, I got my buddy David in here. What's up, David? He's based in Florida. Check it out. We've got this one, the classic. I was actually reading this one in the sauna. So this call today, we'll be talking about business, entrepreneurship. I'll be catching up with my good friend here, Valed, and really getting that motivation for us to read. Because although we want quality, right, you kind of need to go through the quantity to find the quality. Think about with networking. You can't just show up and expect to only find the superstars. Or when you bump into the superstar, did you go through the quality to be able to shake Donald Trump's hand and tell your story and bring value, right? That's the thing. People kind of want to jump to that.
Indeed. So what led you back to the power versus force, man?
I don't know, but what's really funny is one of my clients was also reading that book, Power versus Force. But one thing I found interesting with that book, I skipped to the part where it's talking about genius. Like, think about, like, everyone here it has the capability to be a genius. Now, what is a genius? It's not passing some IQ test. I found this very interesting, so much so I actually wrote it down. But I'll try to recall what it was. I won't look at it. Someone who is driven, someone who has urgency to achieve some sort of purpose. So I could be a genius because I ran the best, most efficient barbershops, right? So some of the hallmarks of someone who's a genius is they're confident, courageous, aligned with goals, concentration, and enormous drive. Right? So how many of us, let's say maybe we had a dream or a goal, but we didn't have that enormous drive for concentration, right? It's kind of important.
Yeah, you gotta have execution with the vision. You know, I would say maybe the vision comes first. For me, a lot of my moves were like act of desperation more than inspiration, you know. But you know, as you go up levels, you get that new skill set, you get inspiration, you meet, you know, people like yourself. The way that we met was incredible, man. I couldn't imagine life being any different at the Vault 21. And we've met some amazing people since then together, and we've all inspired one another. Power versus Force is one of the books that we read together. We also read Blue Ocean Strategy too. Have you reread that?
I haven't read it. I haven't reread it. I haven't felt so you need to have what it takes to do the work and network with other entrepreneurs, reconnecting and learning what they do differently, make them successful. Yeah.
Yeah, Barry is a business owner as well. Barry, you need to come with us to Miami in August.
Hollywood, Florida. Yeah, is it August? I thought it was September.
Well, you know, it's like August 31st, so like first 4 days. I thought I'd be unprofessional eating on the line. I mean,
The solid entrepreneur dinner.
you got the dinner of champions.
Yeah, just spaghetti, butter, and Parmesan. Can't beat it. You can't beat it. So I'm just gonna keep pulling out books off the shelf.
Okay.
But first, I'll expand upon Power versus Force. Patrick Bet David recommended this to, I think, several thousand people, and I wouldn't be surprised if under 30 people read it. Like, actually
That's
finished
great.
it. Because, like, I met people there that only read probably the first chapter, and it was just too much. The vocabulary was a little too dense. Watch, I just flipped through it. Like,
Yeah, and
like,
the audio is bad. The audio is horrible, so I recommend you read it. Don't even listen to it. Don't even bother that.
notorious, genius, um, a bunch of things that after you read this book and you fully comprehend it, you will look at Patrick Bet David, this CEO that you thought you knew, and now you see him in a completely different manner because he sees reality very, very different because he read this. And one of the things he brings up in that book is think about the biggest leaders in the world. Let's look at Martin Luther King Jr., right? He was on a very high frequency plane of consciousness, right? So although many individuals said, why doesn't he say we should be violent? Why we want to fight back? But that's on a lower frequency plane. He was already really high, really, really. That's why people didn't understand him. Even the people on his same side probably didn't like him either, which was, and then Gandhi as well, higher frequency plane. And this book maps out different levels of consciousness, gives you a way to look at yourself and look at emotions, and then map it on consciousness and see which ones do you encounter the most. So one that was interesting is like depression's right here, but then it shows that people who are depressed, they like getting angry and prideful because now they feel better because that's a higher frequency plane of consciousness. So have you ever met that person that just like kind of like love to get angry? And that's a lot of us kind of get a dopamine drive. So you have to be careful of it.
Oh yeah, that that book. So I don't remember like every takeaway that I have from that book. It does like navigate how you carry yourself emotionally throughout your day and how you lead your people. Another person that besides PBD that recommended that book was the late great Nipsey Hussle. So that book was on his when he passed away. Everybody was posting a list of all the books that he recommended and read, and that was one of the books that he
No
recommended. It was
way.
confirmed by Lauren London.
Damn. I didn't know you recommended this one.
Yeah, his book list is pretty dope. He had Laws of Human Nature on there.
Mm-hmm.
He had Contagious on there by Jonah Berger, which is another one of my favorites. What else is on there? See, my main shelf of all the books that I actually read is downstairs. These are books that I plan on reading. Actually, have I read some of these? Some of them, not all of them. But yeah, that Nipsey Hussle book list is real, man. He was for sure a reader, man. You could tell in the way that he carried himself and the way that he formulated his businesses and partnerships.
Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah, are you a fan of his music at all?
It's been a while since I've listened to like rap and hip hop, but I remember liking him. I love whenever I hear that. It's like I love that guy because I like listening to him too, more than just music. More than just music, he impacted a lot of people. Clearly, smart guy too. What else? Yeah, more than I saw him as more than just like a celebrity,
So,
like making a movement.
oh yeah. I mean, for sure. I don't think leadership is something that people do by accident. Like even if people like have like natural leadership ability, they still need something else. You know, they still need to seek knowledge from a mentor or some type of source, some type of framework. You know,
Mentor, mentor. What a good topic. It's like I'm just reading the book "The Road Less Stupid" by Keith J. Cunningham, who is actually the original rich dad from the book "The Rich Dad Poor Dad," Robert Kiyosaki, apparently.
no what?
Yeah, And so I'm reading his book, and one thing he brings up, so how many entrepreneurs or people in business or people in life don't have a mentor? And what he brings up is that you can't correct your golf swing while you're doing your golf swing. And like, look at Kobe Bryant. He had a mentor, didn't he? So it's like, yes, you know your shit, but you don't know your shit enough. You'll never know your shit enough to not have one. That is the first excuse that comes up, where it's like, you know what? I just need to take action. That's like the first thing. That's another thing this book brings up, is that a lot of entrepreneurs start in the middle, right here, but they skip this part, which was thinking, like a lot of thinking. Like that book says, spend some thinking time. Like, even have a thinking chair, which is kind of crazy. I have a buddy who does that.
Hell yeah, critical thinking is important. That's how you process issues, man. You know, people think that we're always going emails, text messages, phone calls and stuff, but you need a moment, whether it be in the morning when you first wake up, where you're at like a high frequency, or if there's like, a situation where you have to like resolve some type of conflict. You might need to take, a quick 10-minute, 10, 15 minute to really process the issue before you address it. I wouldn't say take too long, but it depends on the severity of the issue, though.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's do this. Let's make let's choose we'll end this one, and we'll make a mini live on one topic where we go hard.
I'm with it. Let's do it.
What do we want to do?
Um,
I was just gonna say my normal, which is get people hyped up on reading and how it'll make them money.
all right, well, hype me up on reading. You don't really got to sell me on the importance of reading, but
You're already sold. You're already sold.
yeah, I'm like one of your first clients.
Yeah.
I always tell people get blown away when I'm like, I will be like rushing, like, I gotta go, I gotta take this class. And they're like, what's the class about? It's business class, is it like you in school? And I'm like, no, I'm taking a class so I can learn how to read faster, so I can retain. Like, I had years where I was crushing 20, 25, 30 books a year, and you are like tripling that. You're like, what, 70, 80? You're like 3 a week, something along those lines. I'd like to get up to that level. We're able to learn from other people's mistakes, download knowledge, and stimulate our mind. Take all of these ideas and formulate them the right way. We wouldn't be able to do that without reading. People are like even sleeping on what we do for the children as far as reading. Yeah, we're reading fiction books and stuff like that, but just getting in the process of reading. This isn't like a punishment. This is fun. This is enlightening. This is something that we do together as a community. People that love sports have their community. People that love tattoos have their community. Even the weed smoking culture, they get together for 420. We need to have our place where we connect and read and think and grow.
Think and grow rich. Maybe my book will be Read and Grow Rich. And I love what you do in terms of helping kids read and get them excited and reading to them, because there's a book called 30 Million Words, and one thing that they bring up is that if you're not talking enough around your kids and you're not reading to them at certain ages, the author says essentially that's child abuse, what you're doing to your kid. Like, you are totally not helping them have just a successful life. And one thing they've also noticed is that the families that communicate more vocabulary, just more words in the household, tend to be, since there's more communication, there will be more understanding. But the families that are unhealthy, there's actually less communication happening, less words for the kid to pick up on. Like, how many times have we seen, let's say, husband and a wife, just like, there's just no communication. That hurts the kid, apparently. So, again, I love what you do. I love seeing it. It makes me happy.
Lord, I appreciate that very much. I can't take all the credit. There are many different people that contribute to our effort to do this. Most importantly, we got to involve the parents. So it's still a work in progress. So if you're watching this on the playback, please, parents, we're resuming in May. Join us at Fade and Flow on Wednesday afternoons with your children. We're going to read. You know, I happen to rap, but I'm not the guy putting a gun in your child's hand. I'm not the guy that's telling them to go out and move the packs, you know, trying to do something positive. Not even trying. We are doing something positive.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's, let's see. I was just thinking about how awesome that is. It's, set them up for success.
Yeah. We don't make a dime from it. It's not motivated by money.
Yeah. Gotta give back.
Yeah, 100%. With the resources available to us, yes. So we're both reading books. I mean, not reading books. We're reading, but we're both writing books, right?
Yeah.
How far along are you with yours?
Dude, one thing that I had to move to was working on what my course outline would look like for videos and stuff like that. So I had to take a step back from it. But maybe I feel like I'm under 50%. But I'm probably going to make a decision where, okay, that I'm biting off more than I can chew and just make it super lean. Just make a super lean version where it's teaching about reading. Just make it the easiest book that anyone can pick up, instead of like, who wants to pick up a 400-page book to teach them how to get them excited to read and teach them how to read fast. I think it should be under 100 pages.
Okay.
And then I could have an expansion later. That's what I'm thinking. Really easy. Maybe it's one where I could even easily mail it to people.
I need you to autograph mine.
Autograph yours, of course.
Yeah.
Of course. Here's
Go
ahead.
Oh, so you're going a different route. So Joseph is the book. Don't believe Joseph, your friend Joseph that wrote that book. Don't believe everything you think. So his book is very thin, but it's very dense. So I'm expecting if I see a book that's like super thin, that I'm going to get value from it immediately. There's no fluff. There's no extra jargon in there. It's just straight to the point. So that is my expectation for your book.
Yeah, I want it. Gosh. Yeah, it's a process. But I do want it to be extremely valuable, and I want it to have. I kind of like Alex Hormozy's format in terms that it has like nice graphs and diagrams and things like that make it easier on the eyes. $100 million offers, I got it right here. This book, now that I think about it, I was like, okay, my business is built upon this one. This is one of them that everyone's business should be built upon. $100 million offer, so you actually understand the psychology behind money and your price. Because have you ever had a price and then someone paid for it and they were super happy, but then you looked at that price and you're like, I don't really feel happy about that price. Like I should have charged more, but what stopped you? Right? So if you don't want that to happen again, this is the book. What is up, Blake? Got my buddy Blake in here. He's over in Florida. He was in Tampa, and then I think he was in Miami, out there doing business. I already know, probably some fun stuff too. Yeah.
Risk reversal equals game changer.
Assuming he's talking about $100 million offers. Also, I'm going to show him. I wonder if maybe Blake is still in here. So look, my My uncle is letting me borrow this one. And then we've got Atlas Shrugged. This thing's ginormous. Not that in front.
Yeah.
This is a Blake favorite, apparently, as well. And then my uncle is telling me, oh, I don't think he has Fountainhead, but apparently that's something interesting. But dude, this book is... Oh my gosh, more than 1,000 pages. It's like 1,200 pages. That is really, really
All right, so that's a 1 week for you. It's
fun.
one full week.
How do you
Yo,
say that?
Blake, what? May I ask Blake a question?
Yeah, ask him a question. He's a super smart guy, by the way. He's very well read. He's very...
So, how did you come across Atlas Shrugged? Did someone recommend that to you, or was there something in the book specifically that you were looking for? All right, now we wait. 'Cause that book
I
is
just, I
huge.
just,
That book is
I just
intimidating.
invited him. We'll see if he hops in for a bit. He also goes to, oh, there he is. He also goes to Toastmasters.
Oh, let's see. Hold on now. I was just driving out. I just caught this on my way out. To your question, man, I wish I could have some good lighting in here. Atlas Shrugged was one of those books where I watched videos, like interviews with CEOs, people who I really admired, trying to figure out what worked for them and what kinds of books they were reading, because I think that's a really useful strategy, is rather than just listening to what people say and what their advice is, pay attention to what books they read and what teachers they listen to. And Atlas Shrugged and Ayn Rand's philosophy in particular was one that just kept coming up. Like, I think it was Kevin O'Leary, Steve Jobs, they all started referencing this. And I said, I was never reading this in school or anything like that. And so what I did was I just picked up Ayn Rand's, first of all, Fountainhead, and then Atlas Shrugged, and it literally changed my life, specifically the Fountainhead, first of all.
Wow, so you're telling me I need to drop this book and pick up Fountainhead?
So I started with Fountainhead because I knew Atlas Shrugged was going to be good. And with Fountainhead, what it was I seriously doubt I would have stayed out of school when I dropped out, and I ended up turning down job offers before my business made $1. I don't think I would have done that. I think I would have take the job offer if I did not read the Fountainhead, because it really taught me to stick with my guns, and it really left an impression on me.
Wow. Wow. By the way, Valed. So I met Valed at a business mastermind, business event, the Vault, right? Valuetainers, Valuetainment, Patrick and David. 2 years ago, Blake comes to the Entrepreneur Book Club here in Austin, and he runs a Toastmasters here in Austin. So this guy's
What,
super cool.
you're a client of Toastmasters, or you're an instructor at Toastmasters?
So I'm the president of the greatest Toastmasters club in the known universe. We got 90 plus members. I'm literally in the parking lot. I was on my way out and I saw your pop-up. But yeah, it's basically the dojo, the gym for your communication skills. And that's something I do on the side of the business that I run.
Wow, excuse me, man. You are doing it big. So, have you always been into public speaking before you joined Toastmasters?
Well, I did it a few times in school, but I really grew up kind of around it because my mom is the meteorologist for CBS2 Chicago. So I was always in the I was surrounded by communicators, like meeting other anchors and things like that. And then I came to appreciate the power of communicating. So.
Yeah. Yeah, there's definitely power in the ability to speak to two or more people at the same time and get your message across. Everybody isn't able to do that.
Yeah. And dude, I'd be there, but my program is at the same time. So I'm changing my next round to not be during Toastmasters.
All good, brother. Listen, I'm going to take off, but happy reading, and this is a cool idea to do live. Take care.
Yes. Peace out. Let's see. All right. Let's see. How? Actually, no, not a good question. I was going to ask, how do we make money after this call?
Make money after this call. Well, I believe we both need some strategies right now. So my urgent concern is team building right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't really speak about the details of why on the card, but I mean, you know why.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
team building and creating a demand, creating a demand. How about
Creating independent.
how about for you?
Let's see. For my business, I'd say what's most important starts with a C, and we're gonna hear it all the time. It's really consistency to keep building my brand, connecting with people, creating content that brings awareness, because that's the best. That's really just the best way to do it. That's the best way to do it. And reading these books helps me stay consistent and give me those reminders. Another thing that I'm jumping back into that I stopped quite a while back, that my clients actually inspired me to get back into, is meditation. So one of my clients says one book, which was Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself, convinced her to finally take meditation seriously, and it's changed her life. And then me seeing that again is reminding me, wow, like a year and a half ago when I like really took meditation seriously. Like she's been meditating for like an hour a day. So my favorite quote is like, we need more reminders than we need to be taught. That's why I love relearning things as well, instead of brushing it off as, I already know that. When someone says those words, stop, I already know that, I know where they're at.
When you meditate, do you just go clear mind, or are you doing any type of affirmations, things like that?
There are different ways that I'll treat meditation. Some people do a meditative walk. Sometimes one thing I like is observing my thoughts. Because that's, what is it? Don't believe everything you think, right? It's, let's say you have anxiety, you have stress, something's bothering you. Your thoughts, you should observe them and stop attaching emotion and meaning to them. And once you can start doing that, they'll just go into your mind, hang out there for a bit, and then leave. And if you really get into the nerdy spiritual space about it, like, have you ever had an idea or like, where did that come from? Well, it's just coming from the space, what people call the collective consciousness. It kind of just like passed through, hung out, and left. So that's one thing I'll do with meditation. I'll do like a body scan meditation. There's like a prayer. Sometimes it's just a prayer. You just repeat a prayer. Sometimes it's just observing the breath. Sometimes it is just thinking as well.
How 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 well do you identify your patterns? Because you mentioned consistency. That was the word that you used. So how well do you like identify them and like find maybe what will be a flaw in your pattern?
Yeah. So listening to my body, my gut, and my intuition has helped, and I could see how I've been ignoring that. But recently it's, okay, when was I the best? It was when I was working out at the same time, going to sleep at the same time, waking up at the same time, having my actual morning ritual. And before it was just like, just work. But it really does help. Like really did help. But it's observing the patterns, as you said, and doing something about it.
Or whatever that thing is that is blocking us or bothering us, we got to face it head on. And
Discipline.
you got to do that. Your discipline. My man,
Discipline.
Coach Treasy, man, in the building. See Tiffany in the building, Miss Harris in the building. Appreciate y'all for tapping in. We are not wrapping it up, so we're going to be here, hopefully, giving you some value. David is a reader. He's helped me read really fast, go from 200 words per minute to almost 700 words per minute.
My client just jumped today from like 200 to like 751, so I was like really happy about that. It's cool. He was like, Mind blown.
That's
Yeah.
crazy. Yo, my way of reading before I took your class was like really linear. Like I would read an entire chapter, highlight, what I like in it, go back through it, take notes on the highlights. It was just like time consuming. It would take me like a week to really digest a book. Whereas now, I could just comb through it really easily. I don't highlight as much as I used to though.
Yeah, and
Um,
I'd say a pen is good because you can put something in the margins where it's possible message to yourself. Yeah, that's amazing to be real. Yeah, because Valid going from 200 to let's say 700, now you're finishing a book in a third of the time. And now you're experiencing a book like a movie. And when you experience a book like a movie, there's more dopamine. And when there's more dopamine, you do more of it. And when you do more of it, you see more results. And when you see more results, other people are like, what is going on? What are you doing with your life? And you'll notice your thoughts are different, your words are different. Like my client from last program, his name is Rommel. I'd love for you to meet him. He's probably going to join the book club too. No,
okay.
I know he is. He's over in the West Coast. He said reading has helped him become a better father, and he's less. He doesn't get as angry as he used to, which I found amazing. I was like, wow, I didn't know I was going to be helping people be better parents, but of course, why wouldn't it? Because
Well, the possibilities are limitless, David. If you're helping people read and retain, what they read, what they decide to read is their choice. And you always preach that we should read something that addresses whatever urgent concern that we have. If it's with sales, maybe go with Way to Wolf, or the psychology of selling. Or if it's with finance, go with Money Master the Game, or How to Invest. If it's with parenting, I've never read a parenting book, but if it's a relationship, 5 love languages. 101 questions to ask before you get engaged. That's always a good one.
yeah, and what I'll mention, it's interesting you say that. Multiple of my clients wanted to work with me because they wanted to save a relationship or make their relationship better, and it did happen. Like one book was nonviolent communication. One book, and that was only a solution I was able to propose because I asked the right questions, right? Because initially it's entrepreneurship, business, all this. Like, we need to look at the whole wheelhouse of what makes us happy, what makes a good life, and relationship is a big part of it.
Hell yeah, your relationship. Well, first with yourself. Keeping those promises with yourself.
Mm-hmm.
If you say you're going to do something, actually do it. And then I would say that first attracts the right people into your life. Once they see that you're stacking up wins, you're waking up, you got your morning routine going, you're gaining momentum. That's really what life is about. Like, it's not really about, like, we're born and we only have like a certain amount of time here. We shouldn't be just wasting it away bullshit. We have to go after what our purpose is, and purpose should come before pleasure.
And that leads to a more fulfilling life, right? Because when we pursue pleasure, it's short term. We pursue pleasure, there's regrets. We pursue pleasure, there's numbness, right? When we pursue pleasure, there's feeling of fake, things like that. So what's the best way to build a relationship with a client? I love that question. Such a good question.
Yeah,
And
I would say active, well, assuming you already have a fair skill set, active listening. As painful as it might be with some people, you have to listen to them to identify what their issues are, and ask a line of questioning that leads them to their own solution. Unless you have, a story or an experience that you can share that adds value to them and shifts a paradigm for them.
and it's such a loaded question. There is so much behind that. Like, I would love to answer all of your questions there in your live, but first I'll answer it with books, right? So you can put in the time to expand upon it and go over and over. Because I could say, I don't know what clients you're talking about right now. I could solve your problems with your clients right now, or I could solve it for the next 30 years. Right? Because like someone might say, oh, send them letters, send them video messages, which works as well. Connect with them, master persuasion, influence, read How to Win Friends and Influence People. I, of course, recommend that one. Little Black Book of Connections. But the best way to build a relationship with the client is build your relationship with yourself first, immensely. So then the way you communicate with yourself, which is of love, you just do the same with them. Because how many of us communicate with ourselves in a way we wouldn't communicate with our best friend? But what if we communicated with our, like how many of us, like we just beat ourselves up every day? Every day is like, oh, you're such a weak X, you're such this, you're such this. But would you treat another human being like that? Probably not, right? Because I know, sadly, I mean, many of us know people who suffer from depression. And when people suffer from depression, how do they talk to themselves? It's usually very, very negative. But they'd never do that to someone else. It's only themselves, right? So that's my answer, because I've seen the people who love themselves the most do very well with just building relationships. But
you took it a whole different direction, man. I like the path that you took.
yeah, another one. Now we can go to the more higher level, Little Black Book of Connections. You want to get better at networking, building your brand, shaking hands. This should be on top of How to Win Friends and Influence People.
Okay.
Once again, Little Black Book of Connections, Jeffrey Gitomer. Highly recommend this one. I think several of my clients are reading that one. This one right now. Building, yeah, because if you could build relationships, if you have a business, you have clients, that's helping you generate leads, right? Just like a barber, right? The best barbers will ask questions about me and things like that. So you can make more friends in a year just asking questions about them than you can in 5 telling them about you. Right? And you remember that book, How to Win Friends and Influence People, right?
Yeah, that's a classic. Yeah.
He's just listening. He'll just listen to someone say nothing, and then they'll say, "You're such an amazing person." They're like, "Dude, I said nothing. Like, I said nothing, and you think I'm amazing? Thank you. My work is done here." Right? It's pretty funny. It's pretty funny.
Wow, that book right there that you just showed, I've never seen it, never even heard of it before. So I see that you've gone off the beaten path of books. There's like a list, probably 100 books in the self-help business section. I've never seen that one. And I was just at the
Get it
bookstore
done.
yesterday.
I like this one because it actually has quizzes. If you feel like you've procrastinated, you feel like you keep putting things off, go through this book and treat it seriously. Because you like do check marks, and then it will evaluate you, and then this book will initially hold a mirror up to your face, but then give you some ways to just like stop procrastinating, right? There's a little more to procrastination. I mean, we can get into that if you want to talk procrastination.
We can talk about whatever you want.
We can talk about whatever we want. This is our live. Thank you very much. I am David reads fast. This is what I do when I network with people. I'll say, they'll say, "What's your name?" And then I'll put a book on my head, because I always have a book on me or my notebook. I'll say, "I'm David reads fast." And why do I do that? Because everyone here, you should steal this from me. Memories are sealed with emotion. So the more emotion you could bring in these interactions when you're interacting with people, something that stands out, they're going to be memorable. So maybe Valed meets someone and says, "Oh, I'm a barbershop owner. I think you would look great with a bowl cut or a reverse mohawk or something." Just to like mess with them, because you have to scratch their brain, and then they're like, "Wow, I'll never forget that guy. He gave me a terrible recommendation. I'd never let him cut my hair, but he was a nice guy, right?
For real. I want to use that too. I want to use that. Yeah, definitely thinking outside the box and doing something different makes you more memorable. I was just reading a book about hiring, and they were talking about how Southwest would have these highly qualified pilots come in for their job interviews. They would be suited and booted with everything on, and the person that was leading the job interview would tell them to put on these brown shorts. And then the people, and they would, their process was hiring on attitude. So whoever said that they wouldn't put on the shorts couldn't get the job. The people that actually stayed and put on the shorts, it showed that they had a sense of humor. It showed that they had character. Those are the type of people that they wanted in their organization. And I had never even thought of that. Like, we asked the same questions with the same keywords, buzzwords to try to get reliable, dedicated, skilled people. But really, who are you? And you can't really ask somebody a question like that. They have to show you.
Yeah. So it's like you could ask them really funny questions too. It's like, if you had two blunts in front of you. No, I don't know. Just like that's a stupid question. No, I'm kidding. No, we'll say if you had an
Let's
option
light up
to
right now
read.
for the job interview.
You just like take it out. It's like, is this a pre-roll or no? I'm just kidding. It's like we're not doing that. No, we're insane. We'll ask them. It's like, should person A start an LLC or should person B? I love the creativity. I love that idea of creativity, thinking outside the box. Now that makes me want to talk about these books. There we go, more books. That never stops. Books on creativity. Cracking creativity and thinker toys. So what happens when you're more creative, you have more ideas. And when you have more ideas, although we say ideas are a dime a dozen, if you have a lot of dimes, that's a lot of money, right?
You need to get like a superhero suit, man, and become Bookman.
No.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yo, if I would have known if I'd have known that we'd be showing books off, I'd have gone downstairs because I'm so proud of the collection I have down there. How many books do you own?
I have way more because I was in California. And now I'm kind of like restarting out. But there are a lot of books in this house too, just not a lot of them are ones I particularly like. So just restarting it. I'm happy with it though. But most of my books, I'm happy to say they're on my shelf, I've read. Right? That's important to be able to discuss. Go just bring you're gonna carry your bookshelf up here or what?
Nah. I'll show you on another live.
Yeah, we'll do another live. What did you talk about? You talked about Contagious. I got that one started. Didn't finish it yet though. That's Made to Stick, which is very similar.
Okay.
So in that book Contagious, if I remember correctly, what they mention is that word of mouth is really, really powerful.
Right.
How powerful it is because yes, people spend a lot of time on the internet. However, they spend all the rest of their time just walking around, being around people.
Right. There's a framework in Contagious. It's called Steps Marketing, STEPPS. So you have to have social currency. Whatever you do has to trigger emotion. So trigger emotion has to be public. Oh man, the last one was story. It has to tell a story. I forget what the other P was. So social currency, trigger emotion, public, story. I can't remember what the other P was for. But if you have 4 of those 6, then your idea, your product, or your service can become contagious.
Yeah. And one story that I like from that book, Contagious, is they talk about the Snapple bottle caps. And the Snapple bottle caps used to have facts, and they were actually just boring facts. You'd read them, it's like, I don't care. But then they changed them to fun facts, actually fun, unbelievable facts. Like one of them was kangaroos cannot walk backwards. And then now, like, think about that. Let's say you saw that. Wouldn't you probably share that with everyone around you? There you go. Now, word of mouth. And then they'd say, well, where did you get that? Oh, Snapple. It's like, I could go for a Snapple. There you go. So now how could you apply that for your business? Does every fade in full haircut come with a little signature that says cut by Valed Fit? No, I'm kidding.
I
Where'd you
wish
get that haircut?
we could do that. The most we could do is give somebody something with a haircut, and that is what led me to the barber box idea. So at first it was B2C before it was B2B. I don't know if I ever talked to you about that. So anyhow, I had an idea for a barber box. So at first it would be like kind of like a Happy Meal that you get with your haircut with little travel size products and stuff like that in it. And then we had the bright idea of having the most utilized supplies for barbers on a subscription.
Ooh. Yeah, I like it. And what you're doing there, it's like that barber box. If they carry it around and use it, people are more likely to see it as well. And now it's a big reminder of your barber shop as well,
Indeed.
right? And there might be some status to it as well because it's kind of like they're carrying it around. Everything's there, neat and packed together. Looks like we had a quick question here, Harris.
Oh yeah, Ms. Harris asked what social currency is. So
Yeah.
social currency is somebody actually seeing, the effect, seeing the feature or the benefit of your product. Social currency, well, kind of like what we do. We post our, Ms. Harris is a beautician. So when they see what it is that you actually do, they see the person with, get the mirror with the smile on their face. That's social currency. Social currency is even like wearing Jordans. Like that already, like this like a status symbol.
Yeah.
See, we got Pat in the building. Paid for his own.
Awesome. Let's see. Yeah, social currency. If we're going to talk about, like, let's say, look at dating, right? The guys. Let's look at a reggaeton music artist. Let's look at Bad Bunny. A lot of social currency. So social currency, yeah, that's kind of what. Social currency, social status. How would we say that's different?
Social currency, social status. Well, in the book Contagious, there's a story about the $100 Philly cheesesteak. Do you remember that story?
I see. I didn't get to finish the book yet.
Okay, so it influenced Nipsey Hussle to do a Proud to Pay campaign for his mixtape, where his mixtape was $100, and he's selling something for $100 that you can ultimately have for free. But someone buying that and having it a day or two early, their autographed copy is social currency. It is social status. It shows, an artist, if you have the ability to build your flock, build your fan base, and they are diehard with whatever you do, they will share the story. You think somebody's going to buy a cheesesteak or a mixtape for $100 and not tell anybody about it?
I gotta tell somebody. Then they're gonna post about it.
Yeah, I got this for $100. I bought this for, that's the first thing they'll say. That's something that they're proud to share, and that tells a story.
Yeah. Does tell a story. Now making me think, if I send someone a book, like my book, like you and I both, we send someone our book, how do we make it memorable or social currency worthy, right? Something to think about. Right?
Well, I got this barber blueprint book, so consultation may come with it. Maybe run your shop for a day. I think that's priceless. If I sell you the book, you know, you get if the book retail, let's say the book retails at $30, but somebody gets like a premium package, like a $200 book. I'll come run your shop for a day. I'll come give you consultation. Let's unpack everything that you need to do.
No, you have to do more than that because you get 1,000 of those.
1,000 books
Maybe
or a
maybe they
thousand.
get your follow on Instagram. You'll follow
No,
them back. There you go. No, that you post this book on Instagram, you get a chance to win a box. There you go.
okay.
See, there you go. I'm trying to help you scale.
Okay. Oh,
Joseph,
woo.
Joseph, dude, Joseph sold, I think, over 10,000 books last month. Right?
Congratulations, man. That's huge. That's
Amazing.
huge. We aspire to be you.
Joseph's not in here. I don't think he is.
Oh,
No, but I was just mentioning Joseph, you know, his book.
yeah.
Bought it.
This book is actually fire, man. Yo, when he went on, all right, so backstory for everybody. We had a mastermind that we did for about 18 months. David, I, and 25 other entrepreneurs. Joseph joined it, and when he was talking to us about his book, it brought tears to my eyes. Don't believe everything you think. And man, that book was just like a big paradigm shift for me, man. Like, so it doesn't surprise me that he's selling tons of books because his book is really, really good. And I recommended it to about 3 or 4 people.
Oh, nice. Dude, and it's, yeah, he's amazing. His story's amazing. He went through a lot. He went through a lot, and now he's in a good spot.
Yeah, 1,000 books, man.
I'm
It's
gonna go on a
crazy.
live with him too.
Okay.
Yeah,
Looking forward to that.
yeah, I'm gonna do that. He's gonna drop knowledge as always. Right? Yeah, yeah. Let's see. Hmm.
Oh, man, ask me anything. Ask me the real
I'll
questions.
ask you
Talk
a
to
real
me
question. All right.
yeah, like we
I'm
kick
gonna put you on
it,
the
man. So
spot.
talk to me for
When are you
real.
gonna
Like
get
we kicking
married?
it. All right, live is over now.
Live is
When,
over.
no, when am I getting married? Um, when I find a partner that meets my criteria. So that is a work in progress.
How old are you? 21?
However, I have to meet the criteria that I expect. You understand what I'm saying? Like I have to carry myself a certain way. I have to live by certain values and certain principles in order to attract that into my life. Simple and plain. So that doesn't give
When you come
you
to
a
Austin,
timestamp.
when are you coming to
Huh?
Austin? We'll find her.
I need to come out there. I need to come out there ASAP.
Yeah, 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 exactly. Well, I'll get faded up.
Yeah, I'll bring my clippers with me. Bring my clippers. All I need is my clippers, my laptop, a few books. You know, I could borrow some books from you. Now, I don't know how you are with loaning out books. I'll for sure give them back because I cherish mine. But I'll give you yours back.
You'll finish them. No, you'll finish them in Austin, cause someone borrowed like 5 of them. That chick, I don't know if I'm seeing those books back.
Dude, that happened to me. I loaned out like when I was in the mixtape game making music, I had a bunch of books about the music business and highlighted sticky notes, all of that. And I loaned them out to an aspiring artist. I never got them
No,
joints back, man.
motherfucker didn't give it back.
Nah,
Where you
nah.
got
I
his
really,
info? Where does he live?
I think she moved to the city or something.
What city?
New York City.
No, where are those books? What part of New York? What part of New
Yeah.
York? What part of New York?
I don't know, man. I think she's in Brooklyn.
Okay, Brooklyn.
Ah, yo, you are crazy.
That's fine. It's funny you say that. Damn. Piss- Gosh. It's because you could have if you still remember what those are. You know, Brett is getting back is getting into music.
Yeah, yeah, I saw that. I saw that. I need to tap in with Brett, get some beats from Brett for sure.
Get with
I'm
Brett.
100% sure we could make some crazy shit. Yo, and I want to shoot a music video when I come down there this time too. So yeah, that's gonna be stupid lit.
Yeah, and what else? What else? He's making good connections, making good moves. He's uh he's good at networking, dude. He's good at building relationships. I saw him do it over here at South by.
Yeah. Oh, tell us a little bit about your South by experience.
Yeah, well, apparently, because I had my mentor here who's been to 17 different South by Southwests. So
Wow.
for those who don't know what this event is, it involves technology, like tech conference stuff and music. And I think it was, yeah, I think it was about a week. Or was it two? No, I think it was about a week. But this South by apparently wasn't as poppin' as the last years. For me, I thought it was poppin', right? But from my friends and what they said they've seen it be like wild, packed as fuck. But if you think about it, we've got recession going on, and
Yeah.
and still making a kickback after COVID and all that stuff, and people recovering. Right? So kind
Yeah,
of crazy.
that's a real thing. I think us as entrepreneurs, we definitely need to pay attention to what's happening with the economy. Things that are happening geopolitically are affecting us and our business.
Yeah,
Little do we know.
yeah, like China and Russia, people getting rid of the U.S. dollar in trade. But from what I've heard, like there's fear around the dollar crashing. I don't see the dollar crashing. I don't. From what I've heard, I like.
No, I don't think it's going to crash, but its buying power is declining.
I see.
You
I
know?
see. So what Valid is trying to say is, passport bros. If you're trying to hit Colombia now.
Yo, we had a few women from Morocco on the live too for the passport bros.
Oh, from Morocco. Okay.
Yeah,
Welcome. Never been to Morocco. You've been though, and I know
yeah,
you've been.
been to Morocco. Yeah, so I gotta go to. So here's my trip itinerary. I gotta fly to Austin, then fly to Morocco. Well, fly to Austin, then probably fly to Europe, then Morocco.
You speak Spanish?
I, I speak English. Now I know some Spanish words enough to identify the bathroom, the garbage, the light switch, and facial stuff, but not a lot.
¿Dónde
Not full
están
sentences.
las mujeres? ¿Dónde están las muchachas? Where are the women?
Um, I know what I know what to
That's all
say.
you need to know. There you
When
go.
they rap.
Welcome.
Okay.
Where are the beautiful women? ¿Quieres bailar? Do you want to dance? Yo tengo mucho dinero. I have a lot of money. There you go. Setting you
Okay.
up.
Are you learning from Brett or are you learning from Elsner
No,
Greg?
I already know Spanish, bro.
Oh,
I've got the Latin blood.
nice. That's fire, man. That's fire. Yeah, I wish that we would have valued foreign language more in public school,
Yeah.
for sure.
Si usted quiere practicar tu español, vete a viajar a México. Conoce la gente. If
I
you
was
want
looking
to
in
learn
the chat to
Spanish,
see if anybody understands you.
I think some people did. Who knows? They might have to take out Google Translate. No Latinos here. No Latinos here. Brett knows Spanish and Portuguese.
Yeah, he was, yo, bro. So, funny story about me and Brett. So we're walking, me, Pat, Brett, walking down in Miami, right? Struggling. We got all our stuff on. Yo, these girls, they're screaming out of the car. Me and Pat are looking like, what are they talking about? And Brett's like, they talking to you. They want you. So I go to the car. They barely speak English, but they want to party with me. And I'm like, for real? So like, we end up going in the club with them, man. It was a good night to say the least. But if I would have known Espanol, it would have been a better night.
That's what I'm saying. Las muchachas en Florida encantan los hombres morenitos.
Where were you then?
They like the darker skinned men.
Oh, well, that's why Brett's got him.
Yeah, it's funny. What's up, Kylie? Good to see you. My friend Kylie's over in SoCal. Enjoying the waves, being a surfer.
Oh, we got some Spanish in the chat from Miss Harris. Miss Harris, come on. No, that's fine.
I am not Puerto Rican. I have, let's see, my cousin who's not blood related. He's Puerto Rican. I do enjoy Inca Cola and food from Puerto Rico. I'm not Puerto Rican. No. Dude, people think, it's funny, like something's wrong. People think I'm like any race. People, if they're Islamic, they think I'm like they think I'm a Muslim. The Jews think I might be Jewish or something. Mexicans, of course, think I'm Mexican. The white people think I'm white. It's really funny. It's really funny. Only, let's see, what else? What else do people like? No, they're like, oh yeah, dude, you like look like really Middle Eastern. And then my teacher saw my dad, was like, so like just listen to the name David Kirkpatrick. Doesn't that sound white? That's my dad. And so that's me too. But when they see me, it's like, you do not look like a David Kirkpatrick. You look like, I don't know. I don't know what I look like. But the teacher pulled me over, was like, are you adopted? Because like, I don't see like your dad. I like say it to my mom. It's like, Mom, is dad my dad? It's like, yes. Yes, he is. Like 100%, no doubt. So I don't know what happened. I just got hit with, my dad said I was dropped when I was young. My dad's a funny guy. Hopefully you get to meet him someday. He's a funny guy. I do look Spanish. I think that's not Mexican. I don't know. But this is the thing with Mexican, right? It's not a race. It's just a nationality. So you could have blue-eyed, blonde-haired Mexicans. You have black Mexicans. You could have any Mexican. So.
Right, true story. I think DR, other Spanish-speaking countries are the same way.
Yeah, like for you can pass. You learn some Spanish. We're like this guy. You could be anything you want, Val. You could be Dominican. You could be Puerto Rican. You could be Mexican, and people believe you as long as your Spanish was there.
Yeah, I step it up.
Yeah.
In due time.
Well, we'll have to build your Spanish vocabulary. I don't know how we'll do it. Have some ideas.
Yo, it's crazy because I got a Spanish book. I got Purple Cow in Spanish. The whole entire Purple Cow book. Do you read any Seth Godin books?
Seth what?
Seth Godin.
Dude, I've been wanting to read his stuff. I haven't yet.
You've never read a Seth Godin book?
No.
He's like a marketing genius, bro. What are you talking about? You haven't read? Wow.
Yeah. You want to send me some?
This is marketing, linchpin, Purple Cow, The Practice. Man, what you gonna do with that duck?
Welcome back.
Oh yeah. Come on, man. Seth Godin is the guy. Now it's time for me to show off some books.
I love it. I love it when I see Valed is visibly frustrated that I haven't read a book because that just like excites me. It's like, thank you for your concern for my.
You impressed me with all the books that you've read, and I'm just shocked because you've read so many.
He's unimpressed, is what Valed is saying. He's like, I thought better. It's like,
Well, I'd recommend Purple Cow first, so I guess I'll send it. I need the address to send that over to you.
Purple Cow. Yeah, that'd be cool.
You'll probably read that book in like 20 minutes. It's like 200 pages.
Send it to me. I would love a book. Signed. You don't have to sign it, but that'd be signed by Valed. Signed by
Wow.
Mr. Faith.
Mr. Faith. Oh
Let's
yeah,
see.
Barry. I
Oh,
can't wait to introduce you to Barry. Barry has so much energy. Barry owns 716 Garage Doors, man. He's so energetic and passionate, man. He came here not even knowing English and learned English in a short amount of time.
dude,
Scoop
congratulations.
is in the building. What up, Scoop? The
Dude,
real Aisha.
you got a network, Mr. Fade in Full. That tells me you got a lot of love. You're a good guy. That's what it tells me.
Yeah, I'm known and loved in my Western New York hemisphere here, for sure. For sure.
What's
Can't wait to introduce you to some of these people when we meet again in Hollywood, Florida.
Yeah, and you know what's funny is that they don't even have to buy a ticket for the event. They just show up and hang out in the lobby. Like you could do that. That's what my mentor has taught me over here. So many times he said he's met celebrities at events where he just hung out in the hotel lobby. Or you do this. Like I did this over during South by. I charged people $25 for a South by party in a hotel lobby.
Wow.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I took that from my mentor, but he was like, David, and it was at the JW Marriott too, like a super fancy hotel, but you just use what already exists. You don't need to rent out a venue, which I thought was hilarious. And this was coming from a guy who makes a lot of money telling me to be a cheap ass. But it's like, of course, because like even at the foundational level, why would you burn that money if you don't need to burn it?
Right.
Which I thought was,
That makes a lot of sense.
yeah.
We have to do something like that down there. I recall us talking about that, like doing some type of lunch, some type of event. I know that you'll be bringing the book club to Hollywood, right?
Ooh, that'd be smart. Yeah, run a book club meeting the time before that thing even starts in the lobby, right? And bring my book club sign. I have my book club banner. Because look, this is another thing. No one's setting up banners or anything during that event. Or like, I thought they'd have, knowing Patrick with David, I thought that event would have like, let's say like a 5 a.m. or 4:30 a.m. networking time where everyone goes out and swims at the beach or something. You know what I mean? Like, why don't you do that? It's like, hey,
There's a lot of people in the gym in the mornings there. I think that's a perfect time to catch people in and out before the event.
yeah. I think that's really smart. I want to,
So,
like Lewis House.
we got to bring MVPs. We got to bring MVPs, bro, to the vote.
MVPs, yeah.
Why not? I mean, we're going to be connecting with people that are in business. I'm sure that they'll get value. Like, I know that my book is specifically for the barber appearance enhancement industry, but there's a lot of business principles from my survival mode getting up to the status that I think would apply to anybody. So I give it to them unedited at the vote. You'll be the only person that has this version of it. MVP. I'm serious.
Yeah, no, it's smart. I need to have that mine done too by then as well. Ugh.
So who's still here? Does the chat have any questions for us? Not related to marriage and relationships.
Just Amanda. I think that's what it says.
Okay. What you got for us?
Oh yeah, Amanda can ask questions. That'd be fun.
Amanda, ask us. Amanda, don't ask nothing crazy.
Good name.
She's thinking. Her wheels are turning.
Amanda is typing. Amanda is.
Let me tell you a little bit about Amanda. So Amanda, I already explained to you that she's a beautician. She hopped in her car, packed up all her stuff, and drove to Dallas, like undercover billionaire type shit. How can you read more a minute than you can speak?
So, have you ever sat somewhere and you're really stressed out and you feel like your thoughts are running thousands of miles a minute or something like that, right? You're just like, wow, my thoughts are just all over the place and they're really fast. And those thoughts probably ran faster than someone could speak. So listen to a podcast, that's 150 words per minute. Just, that's what the numbers say. Do it 2 times speed. You ever listen to a video 2 times speed? That's 300 words per minute. And then Forbes magazine has shown that college professors can read at 675 words per minute. So what was right here? This was an audio book at 2 times speed, 300 words per minute. College professors 675. So Amanda, have you ever tried to listen to an audiobook or a YouTube video at 4 times speed? It sounds terrible or just not enjoyable. So you can think faster than someone can speak for you. That's the breakdown.
Oh yeah, that is true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never go above 2 times speed when I'm listening to something. Mostly just like 1.5.
Yeah.
But I prefer think faster than that.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, it's reading in your head, not out loud. This is the thing, you don't need to sound everything out when you read. So that's called subvocalization, that little voice in your head. You can train yourself to get rid of it because let's say you look at a stop sign, right? When you look at a stop sign, did you have to sound out the word stop out loud to then stop your car, to understand that you needed to stop your car? Most likely not. So for Amanda, she's driving, she sees the stop sign. She most likely does not say stop out loud in her head so that she could understand the information. So the same thing with reading. If you read, don't have to sound it out loud, that's the game changer. Valed knows this.
and David has some tactics so that you visualize the page a certain way. When we did his class, we had some exercises where I was juggling. We had some exercises where I look at a page that has a bunch of different things and I can identify the one thing on the page that we're looking for. We had timed exercises where we read the same page once at 3 minutes, then 2 minutes, then 1 minute, 1 minute. I mean, it was a very interactive class. It wasn't just boring, like, all right, open your books up to this page, let's read this. Like,
And I've
you know,
got
you
a free
did.
training tomorrow. I got a free training tomorrow, 7 p.m. EST. Link is in my bio. Valed, you're welcome to come through if you're trying to get sharp and meet some new people too.
Okay. Oh, I always love meeting new people. Dude, anybody that I meet from your network is a game changer. Your
Yeah.
network of contacts is on 9.
Yeah. Yeah. You've already been through the program, but I know you like to stay sharp.
Does it affect the retention of the info since it's being read so fast? Good question.
Great question. So what they've seen is that when you read faster and you do it appropriately, you would have better retention of the information. Because if you think about it like this, how many times have you read the last chapter, but the last time you read the first chapter was so long ago that you can't even connect chapter 8 to chapter 1? Right? Or when you watch a movie or a show, do you really watch one episode every month or every 3 months? No, because it's not going to be enjoyable and you're not going to be able to make the connections. So that's what's the most important part about reading and learning. I need that. You hate reading. I mean, that's been me most of my life. We're just not enjoying reading because I was slow at it. And then also with school kind of puts books on you that kind of suck. So our brain is already being primed to not enjoy it. So yeah, I hope to see you there, Amanda, and Valed there. And feel free to invite any more people that want to change their lives through reading. Because 60 minutes of my best exercises, which are the training has changed quite a bit. Val, you'll be impressed. I think you'll be
Okay.
impressed. Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it. I mean, you've trained billionaires. Like, why would anybody want to miss this event? You know? Yo, people have these grandiose goals, yet don't want to do the small things that align with the goal. And reading is a part of it. You have to process information. You have to learn stuff. Learn from other people's mistakes. Learn other people's strategies. Maybe mix that in the pot with your strategy. I wouldn't be the man that I am today if it weren't for me reading. Like that is a core foundation of who I am today.
When I think Valed, I think reader and leader. Yeah, and yeah. Let's see. We met. It's funny. It's like we were both sitting right by each other, and then later, it was like, oh shit, who else was at the vault? Valed, and I got to invite him to the mastermind we had going. I was like, gotta invite that guy. Yeah.
Yeah, this new one, this upcoming mastermind is gonna be crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy because we've evolved since we've met tremendously, tremendously. So just imagine like where we'll be after this mastermind. Possibilities are limitless.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Let's see.
So all right, we've been on about
We've been on for
90
a long
minutes.
time.
Past my bedtime.
Past the bedtime, but always a pleasure. Always a pleasure, Val.
Always,
Yes.
always.
Nice to meet you, Amanda.
All right, so you're gonna wrap it up with some wise words about reading. Come on, call to action.
Sure. So, the wise words about reading and just becoming a better version of yourself. We're not reading and learning for our own sake, for our own selfish needs. It's really to help the next generation. Look at what Valed's doing. What's fulfilling, and when they've researched happiness, it's when you're making connections, you're helping people, and you're serving. So understand that every time you read, not only are you making money, you're really making the world a better place, because human suffering, truly comes from lack of information that could end that suffering. So the last question I have for everyone is, what information do you have in your head, if you wrote in a book, could either save a life or change a life? So like, think about that for a second. The answer is most likely yes, there is information in your head that could save or change a life. So now the question is, how long are you going to wait to save or change that life? Okay? So let's not wait. Let's have a great night and change lives.
All right, let's do it.
All right, brother. Peace.
Peace.